Alright, what is happening, y'all? So, my commentary recording for this boss fight got sabotaged, as well as the first, 5 minutes of me recording it, so I have no idea why I keep running into random little issues with recording this game, but hopefully I'm able to sort of get my shit together and fix all that. So this part is going to have post-commentary. And this is probably going to be the only part of the entire series where I do post-commentary. Because I don't really like doing post-commentary a whole lot, but I really had no other option since I had the footage of the boss, but my commentary wasn't over it. So good thing I caught it before I uploaded it. Not really that big of a deal in my opinion. Kind of sucks, but what happened was I died to the boss, I think once. And then I pretty much swapped out some equipment. I was like, alright, let's go with some more fire-resistant stuff. So I went to my inventory, grabbed as much fire-resistant crap as I could. The only, I guess, downside really is that we don't get to see the cutscene for the boss because I lost that footage. But the cutscene is not really anything too crazy, special. You know, it's just sort of a big spider lady with titties coming at you. So I did die to the boss. Kind of attributed that to a mixture of being sloppy and being kind of underleveled. I mean, I have been getting things done kind of early on without any grinding and soul leveling and stuff. Well, I mean, I have been leveling up, but not really to a crazy extent. I haven't really been leveling up quite as much as I would like to be at this point in the game. But, you know, it's not really a huge deal. One of my goals when starting the playthrough was to kind of add another little layer of challenge for myself, because the first few times I beat Dark Souls, I did, you know, I did my fair share of grinding. I didn't, grind up to, level 100 and then one-hit my way to victory, just annihilating enemies in 1 or 2 hits, but, you know, I grinded to the point where I could use the equipment that I wanted to use and I could wield stuff efficiently. So I did do some grinding, and during this playthrough I was like, you know what, not doing it, I'm swearing off of it. So, you know, that's kind of the price that I pay for not doing any preparation really. I'm just sort of trying to work through the areas as organically as possible, which I'm having a lot of fun doing. I'd say it's a lot more fun than kind of pausing my playthrough to be like, oh, well, starting to get underleveled, time to go back to Darkroot Garden and farm for souls and level up a couple times. So, not really a whole lot of that going on in this playthrough at all. Which is, you know, I kind of need to think of ways to road map the gameplay to where I can kind of make that work. And there's definitely going to be a lot of dying, which, you know, there already has been a fair bit of me dying, but nothing too bad. Yeah, as you can see, I'm doing not a whole lot of damage to this boss as I'm fighting her. Really just kind of relying on knowing her moveset and whatnot. Every now and then I'll get blasted with some spewy fire lava of doom. And that AoE attack, if you don't have your shield up, will absolutely destroy you. That AoE attack sucks. But yeah, fun fact though, you know, when I was first learning to play Dark Souls, first learning to kind of get better at it, and kind of came to the decision where I was like, you know what, I'm going to learn this game, I'm going to get better at it and whatnot. I would restart the game pretty much every time I would learn something new about it. Like, I would just make a whole new character and start from scratch. Pretty much every time I would learn something new or helpful about the game. Like, when I learned that you can kindle bonfires, for example, I restarted the game. Or when I learned that you could, I don't know, just pretty much anything. Any random little trivial thing that could help you out. I would restart the game and kind of adjust my playstyle around that. And it ended up working out. I don't know how many times I restarted this game before I finally got a handle on it and beat it. It did happen though. And then after I finally finished the game, I was like, you know what? That was a damn good game. I love me some Dark Souls. It really is. It's one of my favorite games ever at this point. The entire Souls genre, I just, you know, I really just can't get enough of Souls-like games. I love the genre. Which is funny because I started out really sucking at Dark Souls. And I really wasn't having the best time with the learning curve. I had to learn to like this game. I really did. I had to learn to like Dark Souls. It was not love at first sight. Like, I'm sure it was for a lot of people. I'm sure there's quite a few people who are in the same boat as me, who kind of didn't really understand this game at first, but once it finally clicked, it became something that you really, really liked. And I'm sure there's other people who can't stand Dark Souls. I mean, I have a lot of friends who really hate Dark Souls. I know a lot of people who can't stand this game. Whether it's because it's too hard or because, you know, they just don't enjoy the game for their own reasons. Everyone's got an opinion. Everyone's entitled to their opinion. Like I said, you know, I used to kind of fall into the boat of people that really, really didn't like Dark Souls. Until I figured it out. And then once I, you know, was patient with it and I gave myself time to get over the learning curve, I was like, you know what? This isn't a bad game at all. I actually find a lot of satisfaction with this game. Well, there down goes the boss. I was pretty happy that I finally beat the boss because she kicked my ass really hard the first time. And I was doing like no damage, so I was like, well, this sucks. It was kind of about the time where I was kind of regretful about certain things. I was like, oh wow, so this is what happens when you don't grind at all in Dark Souls. But you know, I just feel like grinding and farming too much, I'm just not really doing the game proper justice. But now that boss is dead, we can go ahead and go ring the second bell. Good old Bell of Awakening. The second and final bell. And the gates to Sen's Fortress are finally open. Good old Sen's Fortress. Bit of a difficulty spike in that area, I must say. Sen's Fortress is, I mean, pretty much any Dark Souls vet will tell you Sen's Fortress is rough. We'll go down here, we'll get rid of that stupid invisible wall, and then we get to commune with Quelaag's sister, who is another creepy spider woman.
But you have no eggs. No matter.
Also, this guy's really weird, this NPC. You can just straight up kill him, and then Quelaag's sister doesn't give a fuck. She really doesn't seem to care if you kill this guy. Also, he takes forever to get the fuck out of the way, so it's kind of worth killing him just for that. There's Quelaag's sister. I don't remember her name, but I just know that she's like a firekeeper, and there's a lot of lore about her. And if you look into it, you find out that Chaos Witch Quelaag really isn't a bad... She's not bad. She's not really evil. She's apparently just trying to, like, farm up some humanity for her sister, because her sister's, like, really, really sick. That's all I really know. I saw, like, a part of a video about it once, so that makes me the expert. But yeah, this little hidey hole is where Quelaag's sister likes to hang out. And apparently she's sick. Also, you can kill her and you can take her soul. She'll give you a Firekeeper soul, and then you can give it to another Firekeeper to reinforce your flask. I chose not to do that, at least for now, just because I wanted to keep the bonfire in action. Because you always got to keep that in mind. If the Firekeeper dies, the bonfire that they tend to also dies. So, you know, this guy sells a servant roster, which is the most exciting sounding item on the planet. I believe the rest of the video, I'm trying to remember what exactly I did during the rest of this recording. I really don't remember. I really don't. I did a couple of things before I was like, alright, this is the end of this episode, calling it quits, and when we come back next time, blah 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 blah. You know, my dank outro. Look at them demon ruins. I think that's where I ended up going, except I didn't actually, like, go through the demon ruins, because that is an area saved for towards the end of the game. I think I just went down in there to light the bonfire. I think that's what I did. Yeah, demon ruins are pretty neat area. Kind of a hard area, definitely an area that you save for the end of the game. I think I just got the bonfire lit so I could fast travel there whenever I finally got that shit unlocked. Yeah, kind of, I don't know, back to my my original points about, like, Dark Souls and difficulty, I guess. I mean, if you're having trouble with the game, Dark Souls is one of those games where it's a pretty authentic example of supplemental difficulty. And what I mean by that is, you know, it's a really hard game, and a lot of people are like, wow, you know, in easy mode would make this game a lot more approachable, it'd make it more accessible, it'd make it easier for, like, casual gamers to get into it and start playing and have more fun with it. And I definitely get that. That's a valid argument for sure. But Dark Souls has supplemental difficulty in exchange for traditional, like, difficulty settings. So what I mean by that is that the game kind of does have an easy mode. It already does. It's kind of hidden in the gameplay, and you have to kind of find it either by playing the game for yourself or by looking stuff up on the internet and getting help. But the game can be made a lot easier if you just know how to make things easier for yourself as you go. Like, you know, at the beginning of the game, for example, I was, you know, doing all those, like, suicide runs for items because, you know, I wanted to get the Firekeeper soul. I wanted to get, like, you know, consumable souls and all those random things. I wanted to get a Stora's straight sword. Just a bunch of random items that are going to help out later. And, you know, just it's knowing how to do things like that to just make the game easier for yourself, knowing what items do, knowing how to use them in what situations, knowing what different enemies are weak to and how you can use that to your advantage. There's a lot of stuff like that in Dark Souls. And also, it's a role-playing game. So, the whole premise of the game is to level up and make your character more powerful. So once you understand how all that stuff works, how all the weapon scaling works, and equipment and all that shit, and how it's affected by your level ups, the game just gets a lot easier. The game has got a really steep learning curve, but once you get over that learning curve, you will be successful, as long as you learn from your mistakes and whatnot. That's another big part of Dark Souls, and I hate to pull that out like, oh, just get good, you know, but I mean, I really can't help it. It's decent advice. Also, I'm about to run out of time for post-commentary because my super shitty post-commentary recorder only lets me record 15 minutes of post-commentary, and this video is about 17 minutes long. So my commentary is going to bugger out any second now. So I'm just going to go ahead and say, you guys can enjoy watching the rest of the video, and live commentary will be back in the next video, and all the other videos after, hopefully. If I do end up having to do post-commentary again, which I highly doubt, but if I do, I'll just be like, hey, more post-commentary coming your way. I'll go ahead and announce it, just like I did in this video, baby. I ain't trying to fool anyone. But yeah, I'm thinking my commentary is going to cut out any second now. So thank you guys for watching. The rest of this video, I think, is just me going back to the bonfire. So really nothing to even commentate over. So yeah, I'll see you guys in the next video.